Hi everyone, this is Kurt from Ethos Reviews. Today, let's start off with a little bit of video game history. Of course, the industry has been built upon a lot of games that are now considered established franchises, or established names, if you will. Well, arguably the biggest one is Super Mario Bros. We all know how popular that is. But let's go even further back than that, and let's talk about maybe even into the 70s. With games like Frogger, or Pac-Man, or even Pong. Now, everyone remembers Pong, right? Yeah, everybody knows Pong. Ugh, terrible. Alright, but we're not here to talk about Pong. Okay, so that's Pong, that's awesome, classic, yet primitive, but still tons of fun to play. But today we're talking about Pac-Man. And Pac-Man started off in the arcade, and he was on the NES and Super Nintendo, and then made his leap to 3D on the PlayStation 2 and GameCube and everything else, and he even had his own cartoon series. So Pac-Man has had a very long and illustrious career. But there was one more game that was made back in 1981, Pac-Man, for the Atari 2600, or the video computer system, whichever you prefer. And certainly this game has had a very infamous and notorious history, and we'll get into all that. I remember when I got my Atari system, and that was only about a year ago actually, and I've been collecting games and systems and whatnot, and very excited to get my hands on an Atari. And there's tons of classic games to get for Atari. We all know that, like Pitfall, or Donkey Kong, or Space Invaders, Asteroids, and Plaque Attack. That's a good game too. So I was excited to get Pac-Man, and to realize that you could play the arcade favorite on your television. Well, that's what everyone else felt like in 1981. And you know what? Why don't we just let this game speak for itself? Alright, so let's give Pac-Man a closer look. And we're going to fire up this old beast of an Atari. But doesn't this cartridge just look so inviting to play? It just looks so happy and joyful, and looks like it's just going to be a ton of fun, right? Let's see. Whoa, ugh. Garbage. Alright, let's fire up this one. Alright. Yeah, so this is Pac-Man on Atari. I mean, due to technological constraints, obviously this wasn't going to look just as good as the original arcade version, but apparently in production, this game was really severely rushed to make the holiday season in 1981, and clearly it shows. I mean, this looks hardly anything. It's just like Pac-Man. It's almost like a prototype of a game. It doesn't really look like a video game, does it? But I mean, it's not even that terrible either. You know, that's the thing about this game. It's not great. I'm not great at it. You know, it's not great, but it's not awful either. It just, I don't know, something about it. It was just like a disaster, but yet somehow still a timeless classic. But again, it's Pac-Man in name only. So when you're talking Atari games, there's at least two kinds. There's classics and garbage. And somehow, someway, Pac-Man sort of just sits right in the middle. Right in the middle of the pack. I don't know which way to classify it. I mean, in terms of history, Pac-Man definitely kind of fits towards the garbage realm, but somehow it's still kind of classic in a way. Maybe because it's just the name. I don't know. Was it really because of these two games that led to the video game crash in 1983? Well, they are considered two significant contributors to that collapse, but there were a lot of other factors as well. And the industry would only be revived and revitalized with Nintendo in 1985, and then they would take over the world. So if you really want to play a good version of Pac-Man, you could play it on the NES. Yeah, so this is more like it. See, doesn't this actually look like Pac-Man? Sounds like Pac-Man. Yeah. Ethos pellets. You can even play Pac-Man on your iPod Touch. Sorry, it's a little hard to see. It's the best I could do right now. But yeah, this is obviously a faithful version to the original arcade game. And clearly it's the iPod Touch. There's tons and tons of more power. It's like a computer in your hand, so it can do a heck of a lot more than an NES can, or an Atari. Alright, so that was something of an abbreviated history of Pac-Man. But in any case, I wanted you to see why this was one of the greatest failures in all of video gaming. If you ever look up, like on Wikipedia, like the list of the greatest commercial failures in all of video gaming, you'll definitely see Pac-Man on this list. So, that'll do it. So if you want to check out our website, it's ethosreviews.angelfire.com, and you can read all of our written reviews there on various types of games, and music albums and movies as well. Alright, so until next time, I'm going to leave you with this footage. Now, you may want to look away, because this is not for the faint of heart. Ugh, this game is garbage.